Hey friends, Joey Resendez here. Sorry it's been a long time. Better late than never though. I'm going to go through all of the etudes here for the 2024-2025 season for the TMEA all region stuff. So we're going to start here with etude number 1. This is Fairling etude number 28. And make sure folks that yours probably doesn't look like this, but make sure you're playing from the right edition. It's the edition published by Southern Music. If you're playing from the one that's published by LeDuc, this might have some different articulations and some things. So make sure the one that's published by Southern Music is the official one. So just be careful there, okay? All right. So etude number 1, Fairling number 28. We got C minor, so just make sure that you're really familiar with the C minor melodic minor scale. So just taking that key signature right there, 3 flats, the key at E flat major, but we're just applying it. We're just starting on C. To make it, and that's a natural minor scale. To make it harmonic minor, we're going to raise that 7th note up from a B flat to B natural. And that's the scale that this etude is based off of. So just make sure you're really familiar with that scale. All right. So going through it, this is kind of an etude that's a lot. It's really kind of heavy on articulation, as is the third one, which is a little kind of a different in terms of the way they kind of choose these etudes, and I'll kind of get into that later. But this one's really kind of articulation heavy, so just you got a lot of different articulation patterns here. So just be really careful that you're playing the exact articulation that's going on here. So starting at the beginning. So we got the tongue 1, slur 3 on those first 3 beats, and we got slur 2, tongue 2 on the last beat. You have to really bring out the articulation that you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, and then we have this slur 2 pattern, which shows its ugly head a lot in this book. So just make sure on all these slur 2 patterns that you're playing very connected, that you're not chopping off any notes, okay? So make every note touch the notes touch each other. And then the last beat right there, we have that tongue 1, slur 3 again. Okay? And then here in bar 3, we're going to flip it on its side here. Got the slur 3 to start. And then we have this tongue 1, slur 2, tongue 1. So it's a lot of, you got 4, we got a lot of different articulation patterns here. So just make sure that you're on top of each one. And really, to practice it, I would really bring out the articulation, like overly do it, just to make sure that you're getting there. We got slur 2 again. This would be a place I would do a little crescendo. Another thing, there's no dynamics here in this etude. You just got, all on my edition, I have a forte and then a fortissimo, and then that's it. So we have to you get with your private teacher and come up with a plan of dynamics here. But this right here in measure 4 is a good vehicle, I think, to get a good crescendo going into bar 5. Yep, and then we have coming here into this little major section, and then it kind of sounds like we're going in major key, but really quickly in beat 3 of measure 5, we're quickly reminded that we're still in minor. Really smooth. Make all the notes touch each other. See that? If you start chopping notes, like clipping slurs here, you're going to start getting this like swingy pattern that you don't want. It'll start sound swinging, but so make sure it's really straight. And to do that, make sure all the notes are really long. Really good. I think this is probably the hardest measure in the whole etude, measure 8 right here, to make sure we get that E flat, B, C without any blips in there, and coming in from the bar before it, we got some ponky stuff happening. Make sure I would do some really slow practice if it were me. You'll see these little twos here and again. I think those are oboe markings, so just kind of ignore those. So if you're kind of wondering what those are, yeah. Right here, measure 9, I would start this soft. And then we kind of build it up here. And then we have these diminished arpeggios coming down that all over the place in the fret. I would do a fork F sharp coming down to the F natural and count 3. Make sure you're all the way down to E flat there. Got the C minor arpeggio for the first 2 bars, first 2 beats of measure 14 there, and then we go get the A flat in count 3. And then slur 2 again. And then the big old slur 8 there to round out that bar right before the fermata measure. Really, really dig into it. I would crescendo all the way down into the rest to make the silence really loud. Right? And then right here, don't be shy of the low C right here. Go and get it. Doesn't have to be soft. Right here, you can leave your pinky down. Just make sure your saxophone's in good working order here. You can leave your pinky down for the duration of this bar. And measure 18. Yep. Make sure you get it. I would do a crescendo into that high F up there. All the way to count 3 there on the last note. Sorry. And that'd probably be the only note I would use vibrato in that whole etude. Yep. So, biggest things here, make sure that you're very, very deliberate with your articulation. That's probably the biggest thing that I would be looking for. Make sure you get with your private teacher to get a dynamic plan happening here if you haven't been doing that already, okay? And the slur 2s, make sure that those are all connected. There's no swinging happening, okay? All right. Which etude is it next? Etude number 31, the slow etude, okay? Don't go too slow on this. You don't want to go too slow. You kind of really want to fall into the main, tempo marking there. Okay. Again, another minor key, C sharp minor. Same deal as last. So this is E major scale. But we're starting on C sharp, same notes. Got a little spit in my octave key. But we are, to make it harmonic minor, we're going to take that B natural and make it into B sharp. Alright, so that's how we get there. Alright, so it says 16th note equals 92. You can half that. You get the 46 for the 8th. So whatever floats your boat. I don't really mind. So for the C sharps here, Most saxophones, alto, tenor, bari, are going to be flat on that C sharp. Make sure you're doing a good C sharp fingering that's really in tune. Okay, whether it be octave key and third finger. Okay, on a lot of instruments that's going to be really great. Maybe just adding your side C key or something like that to a C sharp. Just make sure whatever fingering you're doing is not going to get away of your technique. Okay, so just to so you're not getting any blips in there. All right. Start off nice and soft, but I don't think too soft. All right, and we got to tongue the first grace note here. Make sure the E is the note. The E dotted 16th note is on the beat on count 1 in measure 2. So those grace notes actually belong to the first measure. Okay. We have this, and make sure that we have a dotted rhythm here. You don't want to play a triplet. Boom, ba-dum, triple, bum, 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 bum. Make sure it's a dotted rhythm. Okay, that's a big thing that I harp on. So if I were practicing that, I would, articulate each 30-second note there. Okay. Make sure you get the good accent on the high A up there. Okay, and another intonation thing here on this high C sharp up here. Most saxophones are going to be sharp on that note, so I would probably advise you to put your right hand down. These 3 keys, or at least 2, or maybe all 3 of them down on those high C sharps. Maybe a tiny little bit of decrescendo at the end of that phrase right there. Oh, I didn't do the measures. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures in measure 7. Okay, going into measure 8. So off on 3 in measure 8. Maybe just the slightest little bit of decay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, measure 4. And then we have largely the same, almost exactly the same verbatim as the beginning here, starting in measure 9. And we got that tongue on the B right there. This is where it's just a little bit different, right? We got the B sharp up at the beginning, and we got the B natural hip, which is tongued. I would do the reverse of what I just did right there. I would put the vibrato on the F double sharp, and then probably no vibrato on the G sharp. All right, and then really, you need to be really subdividing those 30-second notes throughout those 2 eighth notes there in measure 12. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum. So you can come in right there after the 30-second rest. Yeah. So again, make sure you're subdividing throughout those two eighth notes in 12, so you can come in on the 30-second rest, and also through that the high B eighth note in measure 13, so you can come in after that tie on count 2. sharp. All right. Then right here going into, sorry, I still don't have all of my measures, number 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's just do the 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. All right. So going in here. That's a hard slur there. Just make sure your air is and it's at the end of a near the end of a decrescendo. So make sure your air is very, very fast going from that E to the F double sharp. Now I might do a little bit of a terrace dynamic here, so keep that piano. And then all of a sudden, mezzo forte. And make sure that you're counting those 30-second notes so you get to play that dotted rhythm absolutely perfect. Right? So make sure you're subdividing. Throw those 30 seconds on those eighth notes there. Diminished arpeggio again. And then we got F sharp minor. Make sure we get softer and a little bit of redondo there. And then this is pianissimo, so even softer that you were playing in the beginning. And also we have a crescendo here, which we didn't have the first time through. And we got these last 4 bars are just killer. So I would probably definitely use my low C sharp key for those G sharps, so that all you have to do is just put your right hand down. So you can probably subtone that low C sharp. Man, I say you can almost get away with just slurring into it, but I think it's cheating a little bit. Just make sure that you hit it and do whatever you need to have some tone right there at the front of the note, so it doesn't like jump up an octave or something. It's super hard. Yeah, man, that's a tough etude, and it's if you try to play the whole thing in its entirety, it's a long etude and get tired, and it's really difficult. So, yeah. All right, etude number 3, which is Fairling number, I think it's 10. Yes. Let me number my measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 24, 25, 26, 7, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, sorry about that. I'm pretty sure this was an all-region etude when I was in high school. So we have this rhythm with the 2/16 and the the dotted rhythm at the end, at the second half of the beat. That's really prevalent in Fairling Etude. For Fairling Etude number 2, it's pretty much like the driving rhythm. Know that one? But we have it over here in Etude number 10, a few places. So start nice and soft, right? So make sure that you have the tempo in your head, and make sure that you got those eighth note pulse going on in your head. Bum 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 ba da dum da 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 dum. And again, with this etude is very, very articulation heavy. So that's what I was going to say earlier. Usually the two fast etudes, one is mostly what I call the angular etude, where it's really kind of articulation heavy, and then you have a flowy etude, where it's mostly like these long slurred lines, like, or something like that. But both of these etudes, fast etudes this year, were kind of a little angular type, articulation based, fast etude, which is not a bad thing. I like them both. All right, so make sure that that you have the eighth note pulse going on in your head. Make sure that your the grace notes are very, very snappy in this etude. Don't be lazy with the grace notes. And then that big old rival there in measure 5 at the forte, okay? So, and that would clip, probably the dotted note in measure 3. Just give a little space between the dotted 16th and the 32nd, and just sounds more clean. Try not to put too much space between the trill and the graces. You kind of want to meld all those together. Instead of, I might have done that later or earlier in my playing days, but I would try to meld that trill with the graces as much as possible. Try to have it one figure. Got this other little fancy, slur 3 tongue ones, just like we did in the other ones. In the other etude. Etude number, was it 28 or whatever. And soft. Another slur 2 right here, but this one's off the beat, so it's a little crazy here. So, really snappy with the eighth, with the grace notes. Really, really big crescendo going down there into the low F in measure 16. Sorry, I got some more spin there. Yes, and just make sure that we're getting all the articulations right here. Knowing, don't tongue one note at the end or slur one note at the end or beginning of the start of these slur or tongue passages. Make sure they're absolutely perfect. And then soft here, we got the little minor section. So I would really set this this accent up here on measure 16, 17, 18, 19. Measure 19 on the B flat on the end of 1. I would kind of chop the end of I would clip the slur on the D. And then come in on that B flat with a nice good accent. And trill grace, and Fairling loves these. So I would do that as a 5-note figure, one trill. I would, as much as you want to play front key here, I would really stick with the palm keys here. You don't want to have that timbre change, however you want to say it, going up to a front key. It's going to sound a lot different. Yes, be careful of the A's here. On your A's with the octave key, you may want to add like your 6th finger down there to bring down the pitch of your A with the octave key. I would really breathe there around the dot on that high C. Sorry, I can't. Yeah, so really be deliberate with your articulations here to on the end of this little coda here. So starting in measure 30, 31, 32, it's kind of like the beginning. It's a little different from the beginning. Watch that. See how the beginning is slurred? This one's a little different. It's really subtle, but it's really noticeable. And then we have this little chromatic passage. Yeah, so palm key there at the end. See, listen to how it sounds different. Also a little sharp on my horn. I just like the way the palm key sounds better. So yeah. So guys, sorry I was a little bit absent, this fall and this cycle, but had this Etudes up. I've recorded them so long ago, but I did want to give you a little video just for a little something, to give you something. So better late than never. But good luck, and there's more videos to come, I swear. And thanks for bearing with me, and see you later. Bye.